Hey, how you doing? Back again. It is next to Mother's Day now, this Sunday, which will be the 14th of May. So we want to talk about women today. Today's topic is women, mothers, and I want to talk about my mom. My mom's not with me anymore. So I don't have that person that actually, protected me from the day I was born. And it's a special bond you have with your mother, different than your father and stuff like that. But, the issue with moms is the fact that not all moms are the same, and the reason why I want to talk about my mother is my mother was kind of specific to the fact that being a mother was part of what she was. So, other than the fact that, my mother was a very religious person, my mother was a mother. She was a mother to the sense that she wanted to be a better mother than her mother. And she told me this. We talked a lot. I think we talked more than my sister talked to my mother. And my mother only had one daughter and two sons. So it was really kind of funny how that all worked out. But I think the whole thing really boiled down to the fact was that my mother liked only a certain few women. Because my mother was definitely not like the women of today. The women of today don't even know how to cook. They got to go in line every day and talk about how they're tired and I gotta work, and that's great, but the reason why you're working is because you want so much. Is because you want so much that you gotta work, your husband's gotta work, your kids gotta work, everybody's gotta work because you want so much. I just can't believe it. My mom was a very simple person because she was a depression baby, and the women today, oh my God, hair, nails, makeup. There goes damn near $300 a month for that kind of stuff. Maybe even more for some of these people. So you go into your would-be life already in debt simply because of the fact that not only the clothes that you wear have to look a certain way, you believe that at some point or another that all these things that you're doing is creating a better future at some point. Now, I'm going to give you the real issue. My mother knew she's not, a gorgeous person. My mom said off the top, I'm no model. I'm just me. I'm a hard worker. I'm a farmer's daughter. And that's what she was. We worked out in the fields. Okay, but my mom was a good-looking woman. But the funny part about it was my mom knew that she was not going to go through life looking good. And that kind of wore off on me too, because I don't really care what anybody thinks to what I look, because one of the things I realized earlier, and I think I said this before, because as long as my mom knew that I was wearing shoes, she tolerated, the holes in my clothes and other things, but, my mom never hoarded. My mom was not going to keep her yard nasty. I mean, we were pulling weeds all the time. And see, this is the difference between the women today and the women like my mom were. Because the issue that I look at, and I say to myself, okay, why is it you have these certain women that are just so freaking frail, I don't even think that they can cope without somebody holding them. And you know something? In a sense, that's part of this social problem. Because you now have a person that is so useless. And really, it's not so much a matter of, okay, I want something from you. It's a matter of you're just useless. You stand there. The women of today just stand there. There is no intuitive issues. All it is the baby, the baby, the baby. And I understand that. But you see, you got to remember something. God did something to you women long, long time ago that you probably don't even remember, and you think that everything's okay. But you're wrong. It's not okay. And you'll notice how now more women, especially in this country, are now overtaking the men in the workforce, in positions, and all these things. And of course, they all lobbied to make sure that, women's rights and all these things were all great. And that's cool, you got women's rights. But yet, for some reason or another, men are still paying for your lifestyle. And see, in this society, we got the big problem are the men. See, because when the men turn into weak, spineless pigs, you have these women step up. Rightfully so, I understand that. But see, my mother, wow. My mom was way more dominant than my dad. Way, way, way more. She was born in October. She was a Scorpio person. I find these things out because of all the things that she taught me through life. So I understand these things. The issue is the Scorpio woman is probably one of the worst women you could probably imagine in life. They're worse than Italian and Jewish mothers. Why? Because Italian and Jewish mothers, they do what you call enable. You understand? An enabler. You see, and again, when you have a certain woman from a certain culture and she's a certain age, you get a totally different outcome. So you'll take, let's take black women. My mother. As my mom got older, my mom became more relaxed. The things that are around her became part of what she knew would be part of her future. So, whether it was the big house, the cars, now we have children that she's saying that are going to help her. And I'm like, here, Mom, whatever you want to do, come to my house. And boy, I'm not coming to your house. You're over there smoking that weed and everything. So she kind of relied on my brother and sister, which both miserably failed. So the old thing is I told Mom, go get you another apartment. I'll come hang out with you all the time. She did that. She liked doing that. And you know something, whether I was there or not, my mother, she loved it. So you have this black female that ends up by herself, but she still has, and I mean an enormous amount of people, and I'll tell you why. See, because my mother knew what to do. I told you earlier, NAACP, PTA, Nurses Association, and there was issues at church that she was dealing with, as well as issues with her profession. She was in charge of one of the LVN associations or something at the time. So I'm sitting up here with this mother that does a lot of stuff, and a dad that really, he's just union guy. He wants to go to work and help his family. That's all. My dad ain't got no other ambitions and other ways to go. But my mother, this woman, me. Okay. After she realized at some point that her older daughter was a flake, she wouldn't follow into any footstep that my mother laid down for her. My mom got pissed. And then she started turning to me. And that's how I got to this point. But the women in this country are, in a sense, part of the problems that we have. But the men are worse. You see, you want these women that want this stuff. Useless, and I mean absolute garbage. All of the inventions now are to make people lazier. Now you have these women walking around with these things hanging down in front. We talked about that not too long ago. And now you got women that don't know how to cook. And one of the things, I think I remember this, my mom used to make this one little patty. She would either put berries, blueberries and stuff like that in there, or she'd put apple, or she'd put pear, or she'd put sweet potatoes and these little pies. And these little pies, they were like, she'd make a little dough on it, she'd put the little thing in there, and then she'd put the little fork on there to put the little thing in there, and then she'd fry it. Oh my God, don't have none of those. Well, I guess they're like fruit pies now. Now that I think, duh. Okay, excellent. Just like canning, okay? Just like when we used to go out and pick things out of the go out and get me some onions, go out and get me some berries, go out and get me this, go out and get this and them watermelons, boy, and put that in the refrigerator out there so we can have us a cold when the barbecue done, we going over to Uncle Richard's. You know, that type of stuff. You know, my dad's running around doing everything she said simply because that's what my dad does. You know, but he was always a good guy. My mom was the person that would take us places. I mean, oh my God, talk about, phobias. Only phobia my mama had was that she wasn't going to get enough sleep. And that was it. Other than that, planning, who's going where, when's going what, who's paying for this, my mama did it. Okay, and that's the woman that I grew up with. Now, I'm faced with some of the most, abused and mentally disturbed minds in history. The women in the United States, I'd have to say, are a far, far cry from the woman that didn't have electricity. But since electricity, now we have a bunch of women that want you to buy them dinner, that want you to take them somewhere, that want you to initiate the sex, that want all these things, but they want equality. And like I said before, I ain't had one of them in my 60 years of life walk up to me and say, hey, brother, how you doing? You want to go to dinner? I might want to get to know you. Not one time in life, and especially in this society. So I'm thinking, not going to do it anymore. Going to focus on something else. Let's look at the competition when it comes to the women in this country. Let's talk about what they do. I'm sitting here looking at commercials now, and I told you about that fat girl talking about her makeup. Oh my God! Stop it! I mean, seriously. Now I got people calling on the phone constantly talking about, you've won a big prize. We have makeup, and I'm like, I don't even use that stuff, man. Get off the phone. The thing is, now you got these QVC people. You got these people over here just constantly. Now, I will say, this brought me in mind, my mother. If she would have lived in this age right now with all this television makeover and crap, she'd have had a fit butt. She'd have been ordering that pot, that big, what is it, the big copper pot, and I want to get that other so I can cook that. I come home one day, man, and the back kitchen was on fire, and she's in there sleeping, and I'm like, oh my God, man. No, she would have bought all kind of stuff. She tended to do that from Lane Bryant, I think, was one of her favorite lines. But my mother is part of me now, and I understand that, women get frustrated with men. But the big problem that I'm seeing now is you broads, you just don't know what to do. You don't. You have no clue. It used to be a saying, a way to a man's heart was through his stomach. These women don't even know how to cook. So, listen, let's get this right. Here we go. Out of the women category, we have this issue here. Mothers, wives, mommies. Whatever you do in God green earth, don't marry a mommy. And the reason why I say that is because the mommy is a traitor. Straight out traitor. Traitor bitch. Okay, see, because when you marry someone, there are no children. You marry a mommy, the minute that baby get there, fuck you, motherfucker. Fuck everything you talking about. Give me that money and fucking pay for this baby. Fuck you and fuck whatever you're talking about. You ugly, disgusting male human being that put the sperm inside my body. You're nothing but shit. That's a mommy for you. They will never, ever, ever help you discipline your child. I married a mommy. The most disgusting thing that ever happened in my life. I backed up, and now, it's my fault. Everything's my fault. No, it's your fault. This is the way you want it. You called the police on me because you couldn't get what you wanted. Take your fucking piece of whatever, and you deal with it. Why? Because I wanted a wife. And if you marry a wife, you have a woman that's going to stick by your side. Not the child that has no understanding except for, wah, I want what I want. You better ask straight out, are you a mommy or your wife? And you need to put a clause in there. And mothers, see now my mother was a mother. And she was a wife to my dad. But later on, you know, after my dad started tripping and shit, she didn't want to be no wife no more. She's like, that fool doing something else. But she was a mother. My mother taught me things. My mother protected me. My mother made sure that even my sister and brother had the same opportunities that I did. If you didn't like it, then that's just too bad. You see, that's a mother. See, a mommy wants to be your fucking friend. Are you kidding me? Your friend? Who's paying the bills here, partner? You want a friend? Well, get your friend to pay your bills. See, your mommy is going to buy you a $400 phone and then complain about it. Yeah, that's what the mommy going to do. The mommy going to buy you something and then whine about it forever. Until you die. And you get what you deserve. Why? Because you married a mommy. And your kids love the mommy. I warn you. I warn you, as long as there's sun in the sky, leave the mommies alone. The mommies are the worst thing that ever happened to this country. Because they are not in any way, shape, or form in your best interest. No. They're in the best interest of the person that has no experience, that has no means of self-support, that has no way to draw a conclusion, and on top of that, needs its diaper changed. Yeah, that's a mommy. You don't want to do that. You will be damned to hell. And I'm going to tell you the truth. You might think there's a combo issue in there, but there's not. It's called a conflict of interest. Because the minute you start siding with them, now all of a sudden, the fixture that God put in place is disturbed. So when my master tells me, be the head, be the head. When my master tells me, go on, step to the side, step to the side. Because now you got another headmaster. You got the mommy. Go ahead, mommy. Protect your child. Because the minute that fool starts bullying your baby, who you gonna call? Don't call me. You the mommy. Okay? The minute all of a sudden the child gets too big and he don't like mommy's decision, guess what? Don't call me. Call your other mommy buddies. Okay? When it's time for that, your baby, your son, your child, to need something, to want some money, and you got it, guess what? You won't have it long. Okay, mommy, handle your business. I used to tell my mom I stole money from her. And guess what? My mother, she made sure there was money in her purse for me. But, I mean, that stopped a long time ago. It was like, my mom was like, what? My son don't go in my purse no more. He got his own money. And I was like 14. So, I warn every man in here, leave the busters alone. Especially the ones that don't know how to cook. Dude, you will pay through the nose and you will consistently stay poor. And I'm going to give you all a good understanding of what real poverty is. Poverty is having, let's say you're a homeless person and you have a dog. That's like having a woman. You have to pay that to feed that animal. Women, I've had enough. I'm going to have to go to another country because not only throughout life without my mother or my aunts, I've constantly felt disrespected by women. I ended up marrying a woman that didn't even love me. You know, because they lie and they cheat and they do things so well. So I kind of look at it from the point of saying, you know, let's just keep this on the down low. And let's just take it one step at a time and say, listen, men, look at who you're dealing with. Look at who you're, and women, I mean, I could give you the same story, but we ain't at Father's Day yet. But see, come Father's Day and my birthday time, I'm flipping the whole script. I didn't think I said that. But right now, you know, the problem is you can't do anything about the women in this society now. The only thing you can do now is learn. If you don't learn to have someone that is actually on your side and not on your child's side, you got a problem. So hey, you know, good luck. And again, I hate being right. This dude fired that FBI guy the other day. Is this gonna be crazy or what? Hey, peace out, people. God bless. And keep praying. If somebody, please pray for me. Thanks for the shout out. Bye.